Home ice with a chance to clinch a playoff spot. It's all business on this Tuesday for the Birds. It's win and you're in, or even get to overtime. And you're in for Flint as they welcome the reeling Guelph Storm to town, losers of 10 in a row. It's time to get to work for the Firebirds and the Storm. Flint Firebirds hockey is on the air, and it starts right now. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome inside the broadcast booth for tonight's pregame show, driven by Shea Automotive. Here to tell you the story, I'm Brian Gardner. We got the Firebirds and the Guelph Storm today, and for the third consecutive game, it's win and you're in for the Firebirds. Unfortunately for Flint, they dropped the first two of those three, but they're hoping third time's the charm against the Guelph Storm team that enters play today, tied for the fewest points in the Ontario Hockey League with 45, and losers of their last 10, having managed only 1 point with a shootout loss during that stretch. The Firebirds, on paper, this looks like a great opportunity to get at least that 1 point and cement their spot in the tournament. Getting to overtime clinches a spot, winning the game clinches the 6th seed and cements a first-round matchup in the 3-6 meeting with the Kitchener Rangers. So on paper, it looks like this is a great opportunity for the Birds to get it done, but guess what? They don't play the game on paper, so excuse the pun, but let's see how it unfolds. Off to the highlights as the Firebirds and the Sioux Greyhounds were on the ice in this building on Saturday. First period, first minute of it, Travis Hayes picked the puck up, shoots and scores. That'll quiet a raucous crowd, and it's 1-0 Greyhounds. Later, Hayes knocks it out of midair. This would be reviewed to see if it was played with a high stick because Marco Menyosa sends it home. Goal stands, and it's 2-0 Greyhounds. Firebirds to get on the board, though. This is Matthew Mania with a shot, and Sam McHugh sneaks in from the back door for the deflection. McHugh with a power play goal. Just get that tip, and the Firebirds are on the board. The Hounds going to answer, though, from the blue line. Shot gets through, and it's 3-1 as Solomon with a little seeing eye wrister from the blue line, and the Birds down by 2. But back on the man advantage. Lombardi the shot. Another deflection from Sam McHugh. The Firebirds' leading goal scorer stays red hot. 6 goals in his last 3 games since returning from an 8-game absence. And the Birds are within 1 with the waning seconds of the second period. It's Justin Cloutier from the bottom of the left circle. Sharp angle, he scores, and it's 4-2. Off to the third, Max Anderson doing the dirty work in the corner. He's got the puck, he's got the goal. Selly hard, young man, that's your second OHL goal. And Anderson brings the Firebirds within 1 at 4-3. But the Greyhounds in 4-on-4 play score Marco Menyosa for his second of the game. They're up by 2. They'd add 1 more into the empty net. 6-3 the final score. The Greyhounds win it over the Firebirds. Off to Erie and Guelph. And this was on Sunday in Erie, PA. First period, Carter Stevens off the feed to Noah Jenkin. His shot deflected by Stevens, and it's 1-0. Later, Erie gonna answer. Pano Femus puts it in, coming down the right wing, and then fed for the one-timer in the slot. Femus again to make the score 2-1 now in favor of the Otters. But Charlie Paquette is going to answer for Guelph from the high slot through traffic, and he scores, and it's 2-2. In the second, early, Jake Carabella, bang, 3-2 Guelph as they take the lead in Erie. The Storm making things difficult on the Otters. The Otters, though, going to tie it up again. This time Wesley Royston to even things at 3 as we're off to the third period in a tie hockey game. And in that third period, Malcolm Spence, loose puck, sends it home. Spence gives the Otters the lead at 4-3. But it's Guelph again. The Storm were pesky on this Sunday from a sharp angle. Carabella, and it's 4-4. But Erie gonna take the lead as they poke it home on the second effort from Sam Alfano. Malcolm Spence had the first shot, Alfano the second, then an empty netter. Spence again, full length of the ice. That'll make it 6-4, and that's your final score as the Storm drop their 10th consecutive game. It's a heavy minus goal differential for Guelph as they've allowed 292 goals against on the season. For the Storm, they have really struggled to keep their puck the puck out of their net. They average the most goals against per game in the OHL. And the goals for pretty similar to the Firebirds, as both of them around the same spot there. Power play a little bit stronger for Guelph than the Firebirds, who are off of a 2-for-2 effort. Their last time out, it's been improving. That penalty kill has still been very good as of late for the Firebirds. Looking at the standings, and you see Guelph sitting at the bottom. They have been mathematically eliminated from postseason contention. So the fight right now, the Firebirds just need a point to cement their spot in the playoffs. 2 points means nobody can catch them in 6th. So that would mean the Firebirds would take on those Kitchener Rangers, who have the second most points, despite the fact that they're the 3rd seed, because the division champion will get those top 2 seeds. Now the Sioux Greyhounds, the Owen Sound Attack, and the Sarnia Sting, 3 teams, 2 playoff spots, separated by just 1 point. Going to be interesting coming down the stretch here in the OHL's regular season. So the Birds and the Guelph Storm in this game that was originally scheduled for just over a month ago. We were supposed to play this game on February the 15th. It was rescheduled due to inclement weather and unsafe travel conditions. So the Firebirds instead welcoming the Storm here for a rare Tuesday game at the Dort Financial Center, and the Birds hope it's a Tuesday during which they can take care of some business and punch their ticket to the OHL playoffs. Stick around as we roll along on the pregame show driven by Shea Automotive. When we come back, we'll get a look at our players to watch for this game, our lineups, who's in, who's out. There's a Bird making his OHL debut. That and more coming up after this. This is the pregame show driven by Shea Automotive, and this is the FireBirds Hockey Network.
At the Shea Megalot, they pride themselves on always aiming higher and finding new and better ways to keep you informed on your next new-to-you vehicle. Go to SheaMegalot.com, look for the Used Vehicle tab, choose your vehicle, then look for the button that says Vehicle Records, where you can find the original MSRP, view the service, maintenance, and Carfax history, just like looking under the hood. Plus, take a video test drive. I'm Mackenzie Miller, and with over 500 pre-owned and certified vehicles to choose from, the Shea Megalot is where it's at. Just saying.
It's Flint and Guelph, the Firebirds and the Storm on a Tuesday. In mid-Michigan, the Firebirds and the Storm with a rescheduled game. Flint with some business to attend to, trying to clinch its spot in the OHL playoffs. Our lineups for today's game, this Guelph squad, really it's those top 2 lines that you need to worry about in terms of putting the puck in the net. Guelph has struggled on in its own zone at times this season. They'll go with Jovanovski in goal. If you remember the last time Guelph was in this building, Noah Jenkins took a scary hit and had to be stretchered off. Really good to see him back in the lineup in Guelph's return here to Flint. Our players to watch for today's game. Let's begin with Lev Katzen. Katzen on that top line. He's draft eligible. He's also an NCAA commit. Off to Penn State for his verbal commitment. Now, he's been a bright spot since defecting from the USHL and the Green Bay Gamblers earlier this season. He's over a point per game. Those 46 points that you see on 14 goals and 32 assists, that has come in 40 games played. 3 assists in 2 games against the Birds, and he's a bright spot for this team. But he's gotten cold lately, only 3 points in his last 7 games. He is tied for the team lead in helpers with 32. Now, who would have guessed preseason that Charlie Paquette would have a legit shot at 40 goals? Now, last 7 games, 7 goals and 1 assist. He leads the Storm in goals and points with 36 and 67 respectively. Last season, 21 goals. Not a bad year. The year prior, 11, and his rookie year, just 2. It has been a rise for Charlie Paquette, and he's broken out for this Guelph team. Points in 13 of his last 14 games, and he's been a consistent goal-scoring presence on that top line for Guelph. And to the overager, Max Nemesnikov. 4 points against the Firebirds this season on 3 goals and 1 assist. He's second on the team with 23 goals, second on the team with 51 points on this season for Nemesnikov. You know he can put the puck in the net. Over 100 career goals, and he's sitting right at 200 career OHL points as well. The overager off to the NCAA ranks after this season. He has announced a commitment to Bemidji State. Let's get a look at the Firebirds. As the Birds today, we teased that there is a Firebird making his OHL debut. Take a look at that 4th line left wing. It's Gage Brandon who will make his OHL debut, third-round draft choice in the 2024 OHL priority selection. He'll be on a line with Max Anderson and Jeremy Martin. Nathan Day has the pipes. The top line will feature Nathan Aspinall and Chris Thibodeau as they've broken up that combination that included Sam McHugh, who's now on the second line with Matthew Wang and Alex Kostov, as Josh Colosimo slotting back into the lineup and Paul Flash continuing to jumble his forward groups. Once again, our players to watch for the Firebirds, and what else do you need to say about Sam McHugh? All he's done since returning from an 8-game absence, 6 goals in 3 games, including a hat trick in his first game back. I think that might be good. The Maple Leafs prospect has 3 goals and 5 assists against Guelph this season. Now, he did see them a handful of times as a member of the Owen Sound attack before being traded here to the Firebirds. He puts the puck in the net. That is what he does. 15 goals and 6 assists in 17 games as a Firebird. And in his time with Owen Sound, 35 games, 18 goals and 13 assists. Not bad, but boy, has he really taken off in terms of being a goal scorer since joining the Firebirds. To the blue line, and one of the Firebirds' Iron Men, Matthew Mania. There he is with his D partner, Blake Smith. You know, those two will be logging a ton of minutes today for Flint. 7 goals, 35 assists on the season for Matthew Mania. He's one of 3 Firebirds to play in every game this season. Leads the team with those 35 helpers, which is also a career high, as are his 42 points. He's been solid all year long on that pair with Blake Smith. And to Jimmy Lombardi. He's hot, and it really started the last time these two teams played just under 3 weeks ago on the road in Guelph. Jimmy had a hat trick in that game, the first of his OHL career. Now, that kicked off a 7-game stretch that has featured 3 3-point games and a total of 5 goals and 6 assists. He's got 5 points in his last 3 games. He has surpassed 40 on the season, 13 goals and 28 assists for the NHL draft-eligible prospect. Jimmy Lombardi will be the top-line center for the Firebirds tonight. So the Birds and the Storm, and again, it's simple. Get a point to clinch a playoff spot. Get 2 points, you know you're locked in with the Kitchener Rangers. The Firebirds will love to take care of business tonight and extend that losing streak to 11 games for the Guelph Storm, who will hope to be snapping that this evening on the road in Flint. This has been the pregame show driven by Shea Automotive. When we come back, we've got anthems, we've got introductions, we've got puck drop. Birds in the Storm after this on the Firebirds Hockey Network.
There's not always a light on your dash when it comes to your brakes. Whoa! You ever hear that noise? Let me show you what could be going on. Wow, looks like it's time to replace those brake pads. Before this happens to you, come on in for your free brake inspection. If you need brakes, we'll even give you 10% off any brake repairs here at Shea. I'm Jesse Lopez, and that's my tip for the month. Come trust our process. Come trust the Shea service team.